drifting ship, I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all you gotta do is join our trip. There isn't any cost of membership. All the sailors here are really hip. I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard our trip. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship. Man, I knew I better get on the screen quick. Duska was coming to an end. Oh, my goodness. How we doing out there, my friends? You'll pardon me for being an hour late. It has been. How are you doing out there? Let's just make sure I'm live everywhere I'm supposed to be live. Let's see, are we live at Rumble? Are we live at Rumble? My content? Yes. My content is of thee, sweet land of liberty. I need a sip of grog. Wow, that's a little bit powerful there, Captain. Yeah, I think we'll knock it down just a wee bit with some Coke. Wow. Woo. Nick. Okay, we are live at Rumble. We are live at Pilled, and there are wonderful people showing up there. We are live at the Tube. Yes, we are. That's a beautiful thing. How about over here in Twitch land? We're live. We're live in Twitch land. Are we? Why? It says I'm live. Why is there no picture? It says I'm offline. Bullshit, I'm offline. There I am. There I am in bold flesh. Wow, I've got whispers and everything over there. Notifications, whispers. I've got some whispers. Whispers. Oh, yes. People trying to sell me stuff. Zoso, dude, the highest replica of world-famous watches. You can buy them from me. No, thank you. No, thank you. Are we live at, yes, the home of the champions? Long live the champions. We are live over there, and Zoot is in the house. Spudley is with us. There's multiple versions. Syllabor is with us. This is wonderful. It's like going home again. It's just like going home again. I have to tell you, folks, man, oh man, it has been a rough go for your brother Zoe. And I need to talk to you about it, because this is where I let my hair down, and this is where I get the best advice.
Seriously. I get my best advice from my sailors. Do I want to launch right into it, or do I want to just kind of ease on in? It has been, it's been a bit of an amazing week. I guess I should, oh man, I don't have my phones. I got to have my phones. All right. I'm going to run in and get my phones. And in the meantime, I'm going to play a little, I haven't played this one in a while. We'll play this one. Because there's something I want to show you. There's something that I want to show you. There it is. There it is. There it is. Stop. 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 Okay. This will give me the 2 minutes I need to run in and get my phones, because there's stuff in there I want to share with you, because there's got to be a little levity. There has to be a little bit of levity in my life. Otherwise, it's monotony. And you guys can share. You can share in my misery loves company, right? Let me share something. I'm going to play this short video, and I'll be right back. When I come back, I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to make you laugh. Okay? Let's do this. Where's my Lincoln? I'm driving my Lincoln. Oh, those were the days when I was driving my Lincoln. You know, riding along, listening to the Rasta.
You always run away.
I can't help but hope that my dear brother Belushi has just an extraordinary weekend. Have you heard that he's hooked up now with Rise Attire? Yes, he has. He's now carrying a complete line of Shibori men's underwear. Now, you can't get this anywhere else. This is exclusively through the lounge. Rise Attire Shibori men's underwear. Now, there was a rumor going around. I'm here to dispel the rumor. There was a rumor that Paul Pelosi's assailant was found wearing these. I'm here to tell you it's not true. But nonetheless, they are pretty impressive. And Belushi did his own photo shoot for these shots. So have a good look. They come in a plethora of colors. I invite you to support my dear brother Belushi. Buy his undies. It's time for Christmas. What better gift for the man who has everything than a pair of Belushi, the Lounge, Shibori, men's tidy whities. Wow, it ended fast. It ended fast. I guess that wasn't as long as I thought it was. Thank you for still being here. Holy guacamole. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough life. I need to send myself a couple of things so that I can turn around and share them with you, okay? So give me half a second here. I need to send myself a message. I need to send myself a message right here. Recipient, Zoso due to Proton Mail. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. And then here I add some photographs. No, add some photographs. Okay, here we go. This is going to be good, people. It's going to be good. Where are they? There we go. I want that one. I want that one. And I want that one. Good. Let's send those on their merry way. Meanwhile, I better open up my email so that I can show these to you when they come through, because what other way would you laugh? What other way would you get the laughs that I am? So, as I've mentioned probably 400 times now, I'm in the process at work of turning a casino into a church. And as you all know, I am a construction worker, not just a regular guy who wears nail bags, although I certainly do still wear my nail bags. I wore them this week. Every now and then you gotta do things yourself. So I decided that I was going to take matters into my own hands in a few places. And I busted out my saws and my tools, my drills, and all my good stuff, and I played carpenter a couple of days this week. And you know what? It felt so good to take off that boss hat and just be a freaking day laborer. I played carpenter, and it was wonderful. It really was. Did I overdo this? Do I have all of these? Okay, there we go. All right, I have what I need. So, that was, here we go. That's beautiful. Oh, this will definitely get the story across. And you guys need a laugh every now and then, don't you? Don't you like to revel in my misery? Doesn't it make you laugh? No, I did have some good things happen this week. I hooked up with my good friend Syllabor and ordered some fire extinguisher cabinets, and I'm very pleased about that. He got me exactly what I wanted. They're the right colors. They're everything a guy needs. So there's that. I have to take my wins where I can get them. But on a job site, on a construction site, when you are the superintendent, and that's what I am the boss of all the other little minions, okay? So besides my own personal crew that works for my company and those men that I'm directly in charge of, I have 10, 15 different other companies that come to my job site and they work for me. And they show up when I request them. I send out a look-ahead schedule alerting them that 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be expecting you here. I want you to put down all the carpet in those back rooms. Or you're a plumber. Next Monday, I need you to show up and I need you to run the piping in that back room and bring water over to that hose bib on the outside of the building. That's what I do. Scheduling. I'm the conductor. I am the conductor of a construction orchestra. And therefore, give me a little roofing, give me a little concrete, give me a little paint. I weave the whole thing together so that at the end, at the prescribed date, we hand them the keys on time. And the job is, I've done it forever. I have done this forever, and I've for the most part, I very much enjoy what I do. It's really something to leave your mark upon the world, and I'll drive past jobs that I did 15, 20 years ago, and I'll roll on by and go, wow, man, I remember putting that place together, and you stop and you think about the men who worked there, and you think about the good times you had and that kind of thing. It's honestly, it's a very satisfying profession, When I'm dead and gone, there'll be, 200-300 different buildings with my names on them dotted all across this country. I've worked in 18 different states. I've built anything you can imagine, from schools, churches, to restaurants, to you name it, I've probably built it. So this week at work, at the church, one of the things we had to do was we had to install what are called roll-up doors. Now, what is a roll-up door? Well, I'm sure you remember these. Remember when you were a kid in high school, and it was not lunchtime, but lunchtime would work, but what they called it in my day was nutrition, and that was like the 10 o'clock break, and it lasted from 10 to like 10:25, and it's just a break in the day. Just a break in the day before you have to go back and trudge away at your studies. So at my high school, they had rows of steel pipes in the ground, and there were in tunnels and out tunnels, and it was where you went and you purchased your snacks, your apples, your grilled cheese sandwiches, all of that kind of stuff. And where they vended them, there was a giant, of course, stainless steel counter, but at night, they would roll down a steel door, okay? It's made of slats, and it has a little locking mechanism on the bottom. I'm sure, just probably like anybody who's ever had a storage unit, you know what these roll-up doors look like, right? You roll the door down in the tracks, and you flick that little lever sideways, and you put a lock in it. And you're locked. You're done. You're good. So the church wanted one of these things on the inside of the building. They have an area that is going to be it's a combination of accounts payable and reception. And it's where people will come and, donators can come and write checks and, whatever, it's just a window. It's a little window where people can walk up and speak to the woman behind the opening and get stuff done. So, under normal pretenses, I am in direct control of each and every one of the subcontractors that comes to work on my project. We had an exception on this job, which is very unusual. And the reason we had an exception is on the far side of the building, we put in 2 garage doors. Now, these are very nice garage doors. They are the glass panel type where you can see through. I mean, if this was your garage, you would walk up to the outside and you would look through some dual pane glass and you could admire a Ferrari or whatever was inside the garage. So we needed those 2 garage doors, and we needed this steel roll-up door that I'm describing to you. Now, it's a very small door. It's 4 foot by 4 foot. And normally, when you see these things, they're like on a chain, you pull the chain and this thing goes, and it coils up over the top. In this case, it is such a small door that it just has a little tiny piece of rope on it, and you grab the rope and you pull it down. So the church, when we were looking for contractors to install these doors, both the glass garage doors and this little roll-up door, the church said to me, we have a guy. We have one of our parishioners, and he does garage doors. We would like to see him get the job. And I'm thinking, all right, so you got a garage door guy in your parish. Let's bring him on. So this guy shows up last week, and he installs the 2 glass garage doors. And if I have to say it, and I hate to say it, I really do hate to say it, but it wasn't the nicest installation I've ever seen. I mean, had we hired one of our regular garage door people, this thing probably would have operated smoothly and perfectly. These doors, when you push the button, first of all, they kind of struggle to go up, but eventually they do start going up. And then when they go up and they hit the curved ram horn, and then they go into the track, very much like your garage door, same thing as in your house. Well, those things aren't quite aligned just perfectly. So rather than smoothly operating and going up into the track and allowing the doorway to be opened, these things kind of struggle. And every time they hit the wheels of the doors in between the segmented panels, it goes ba-bump, 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 and finally the door is open. So I'm like, okay, they open, you know. So he's all proud of the doors. He goes to close them, and the door won't close. The motor's pulling, but the door it's like going, it wants to close, but it's not closing. Finally, he gives it a tap, and the door starts going, and it goes down in the track, and he goes, there you go. I'm like, okay, all right, that's good. Hey, that's wonderful. And then inside, I'm thinking, the minute this guy leaves, I'm going to call one of my regular industrial garage door people, and I'm going to have them come down here and fix these freaking doors so they work properly. But I bit my tongue, and I thanked him, and I said, so when are we getting the little coilover door for the down in the reception office? Oh, that'll be next week. Well, this week was next week, and we got our door. In fact, I was a little short-sighted. I forgot to send a picture of the door. Let me do that, because that's half the fun. That's half the fun, really. Zoso dude to Proton Mail. Okay, and let's add a picture of the roll-up door. Let's put a picture of that in there, because it's really a nice-looking door. I have no qualms with the quality of the door or what it looks like. It's a nice-looking roll-up door. So let me pull up this picture for you, because you're certain to be amused. You're certain to be amused in just a matter of minutes. Okay. Inbox. Come on. Where's my newest message? Let me hit refresh here. There it is. It just came through. I don't think that's it. I don't see it. There it is. I'm going to put this on the screen. Okay, so here it is. Come with me, if you will, this is the outside of the reception area. And there is the nice-looking coil-over door. Okay, there it is. I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit for clarity. So it's just exactly what I described, right? It's just a little coil-over door. Nothing fancy, nothing special. You see this little shelf out here? I built that. I was proud of myself. I had to put the shelf in first because on the inside of the door actually lands on the shelf on the inside. So I had to have my shelf in first. Then they came and they put their coilover door on and the two tracks and bolted it to the wall. So while I'm on the outside of the building, I've already installed the white part of the shelf. Let me show this to you again. I've already installed the white part of the shelf right here. And I'm in the process of cutting and putting on these trim boards right here. These very nice looking white oak trim boards. Very nicely stained. They're beautiful. So you see the side walls right here? This side and this side. Okay? So I'm busy cutting and mitering and measuring and getting ready to put that trim on the shoot it on with my nail gun, the outside of the shelf. And I hear these guys struggling. And I thought to myself, well, it's probably heavy, to a degree. It's not a massive door, but it could be a little bit of a pain in the ass to install. So I'll just let them do their thing. And by the time I mitered my corner of my wood and I shot it together with a micro pin nail gun so you don't see the nails, I walk over to go shoot it in place. And as I look up, I see on both sides of the opening filthy, dirty handprints. And I mean black handprints, and not like one or two of them. I'm talking like 20 of them, all over the outside of the walls. So I know what they did. They took this very heavy thing, they put the two legs on top of my shelf, and then they grabbed the wall, and each of them pushed this big heavy cage up against the upper wall so they could bolt it to the wall above the opening. That's the coil that receives the door when it goes up, and it does like a little snail thing. So I glance up and I go, guys, can I ask you something? I said, did you just change the oil in your car before you got here? Because seriously, you have got filthy, dirty paw prints all over the outside of my brand new painted walls. I mean, come on, fellas. Can you wash your hands? I'll wait 10 minutes while you go wash your hands. Please, respect my painter's work here. So they get all apologetic, and the guy runs out to his truck, and he gets one of those little tub of towels, and he goes, "Ooh, I didn't realize my hands were so dirty." And they wash. It took them 15 minutes, but they wiped their paw prints all off the walls, and it was satisfactory when it was all done. So I continue on the outside, and I'm putting my trim board. Let me go back to the picture for those of you just arriving. I put my little trim boards on. I cut this side, I mitered this, and as I'm nailing that on from the outside, you got to understand, I'm standing on the outside of the room, and they're working on the inside of the room where they're bolting this unit to the wall. And I start hearing the most god-awful noise coming through the hole from that side of the room. And I'm wondering to myself, what the hell are they doing in there? Because, I mean, the sound, the vibration, it's extremely loud, and I can't tell if they're drilling or if they're using impact drivers to run bolts into the wall. I couldn't quite tell from my side, but all I could tell was by the horrendous racket coming out of that hole, something was amiss. So I politely wait, and I finish my stuff. And they get the door, and they okay, we're all done. I go, okay. I said, you want to show me how it operates? He goes, sure. And he grabs the little rope, and he pulls it down, and the door closes. And then as I said, it's such a small opening, such a small door. It doesn't require a chain. It's so small that you use a little rope to pull the door down, and then you grab this little handle on the bottom, and you just lift it up, and it goes up into the coil very nicely. It operates smoothly, so no qualms there. They said, okay, we'll see you later. And they go and they take off. Now it's my turn to go around on the inside of the building, inside of the room, and see what kind of an installation job I got. So I walk in, and the first thing I notice is that there's a metal housing, a square. It's basically just a three-sided square that goes over the unit, and it covers the coil so that you don't see the door when it's all rolled up. Fair enough. That's held on by a couple of bolts. Okay. And as I start looking, I see that the housing it's kind of bent, it's kind of twisted, and they've over tightened the bolts to where instead of being nice and flat, this thing's kind of sitting like this with bolts in it. And I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. So then I look down, I pull the door down. I pull the door down because I want to see how well it operates. And it operates smoothly enough for a 4040 door. I go, and there's a little slide bolt, like I described, a little slide bolt in the bottom. So you slide this little bolt sideways, and there's a slot on the side of the aluminum, and this thing goes in, and it sticks out the other side. And on most roll-up doors, you would put a lock through this little latch. Well, there's no need for a lock on this building. It's a church. So as long as that slide bolt is shut, nobody's getting in that door. It's the room's got locking doors on it, so we're all good. I take a good look. At the slide bolt sitting in its slot. And then I realized that horrendous noise that I heard, where I was kind of questioning, what the hell are they doing in there? That was them making the slot for the cane bolt. Now, I want to draw you a little picture because I'm a construction worker and that's what I do. This is what I do. So if I'm going to draw you a little something in 3D. Okay? This is the wall. This is the wall. You have to do it so you can see it. This is the wall, and this is the piece of aluminum. And over here, I'm making this easy for everyone to see. This is the wall, and there's the piece of aluminum. And here's the little slide bolt. This is the door, the slotted door that goes up and down inside of the track of this piece of aluminum. On the other side of this is a long slot, so the door slides up and down the slot. Here's the little slide bolt that needs to go this way. When you slide the bolt this way, it's going to disappear and it's going to come out over here. Now, normally, right here, you would have a slot that looks something like this. That's what the slot would look like. And when you push the little tongue in, by Jove, when it's all said and done, your little keeper, when you slide this over, your little keeper would look something like this, wouldn't it? Right? It's just a little slot for your locking mechanism. I want to show you what mine looks like. Can we go back to the original screens? Okay. So, I heard this horrendous noise, and I wondered what they were doing. And that's when I realized they were creating the slots. Let me show you the slots that they made for me. Now, I got to blow this up. I have to blow this up so that you can really appreciate what it is that I see. Okay? Now, that's the slot. Do you see all the scratches? Can you see all the scratches on the aluminum? Can you really appreciate? Can you appreciate the slot that they made and all the scratches on the brand new piece of aluminum? Can you appreciate that? Let me show you the other side. I want to show you the other side. Yes, let's do this. Let's do this. So there's slots on both sides of the door. This is the other side. This is the other side. Okay? That's where the cane bolt will go through the door and lock it into place. And let me show you what it looks like. Here it is. This is the finished product. There it is. Right there. So I got to looking at this, and I was a little bit amused because I don't know. I've been a builder. I use my hands for most of my life, and I was thinking, how would I create that slot? And I thought I would drill a hole here, and I would drill a hole down here, about the size of the width of that thing, and then I would take a Dremel and cut two nice little straight lines on the outside edges of my two holes, and then I would have a perfect little racetrack slot. These guys just took a what's called a step bit. It is a drill bit, and the deeper you push it in, the bigger your hole gets. And I have to say, in admiring this work, in admiring their work, it looks like a aluminum chewing beaver gnawed this hole into place. I swear it looks like, it looks to me like an aluminum chewing beaver chewed his way through that. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a little bit more of a perfectionist. But I looked at that and I thought, clearly, this can't be their finest hour. But they were very proud of the installation, so I didn't say anything. I was thinking to myself, how am I going to fix this? I got a good laugh. Well, so the problem, girl patriot, she says, can you believe this job? She goes, oh my God, don't pay them. Well, the problem is that they don't work for me. They're working directly for the church. So I don't have any recourse. I just took a look at that and I chuckled to myself thinking, my God, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Anyway, that's those are the kind of that's just one of the many day in and day out struggles that I am tasked with observing and fixing. The biggest problem for me isn't looking at something like that and going, holy shit balls. It's my problem is looking at that and saying, how am I going to fix that and make it look more attractive? And I mean, I have a plan, and by God, I'm going to do it. But I'm just saying, wow. How was your week? Did you have a good time? So, here's the thing, people. I'm an open-minded son of a gun. I don't begrudge my fellow man. Sometimes some people possess talents that other people don't, and all of us we're all in this world just trying to struggle and get along with one another. The truth of the matter is, I personally have way bigger problems in my life than trying to fix a beaver tune aluminum beaver eating slot in some aluminum. For the past 2 months, I have been really hitting it hard. As you guys know, I like to start my broadcast at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 Eastern. But pretty much for the last 3 months, I've been working extremely late, not because of incompetence, but because there's just so much stuff to assess and plan and schedule and, chase down. I mean, I'm ordering parts and pieces from all over the country, and I have to keep an eye on FedEx and UPS, and this one's lost in the mail, and we don't know what happened to that. And then the box shows up that I've been waiting for from 3 weeks from Peachtree, Georgia, and inside is some 3-inch round downspout. And when we open up the box, it looks like somebody took it and folded it over their knee. It looks like a big fat guy sat on the box for lunch in the back of the UPS truck. These are the things that I struggle with. But the truth is, I personally have way bigger faults than any of these men. Because of the fact that I've been preoccupied with my job, I have kind of let other extremely important things in my life fall to the wayside. And that's not good, people. There are some things that you just kind of figure, well, they'll always be there. I don't have to care and nurture that because I know it's always going to be there, I'm searching for an example that I can share with you, but I guess I can only share with you the big problem that I have, and that is in the past 2 months, because of the fact that I've had to work Saturdays and very late into the evenings, 5 days a week. I've been running 60, 65 hours a week. That's how many hours a week I'm working. I fell down. I fell down when it came to staying in touch with my 2 daughters. And half of me, the logical side of me, being a man, the logical side of my brain says, it's okay. They know you're busy. They know you are the boss. They know that you run giant projects and have all kinds of responsibilities and such. They know you're just busy. And on the other side of my brain, the side that I don't use too much, the rational and emotional side, which is kind of the side that women tend to think on, my daughters were feeling as though I just didn't care. And this is a painful thing to admit to one's self. Even a 5-minute phone call beats the shit out of nothing. I mean, I send silly little texts now and then, late at night or very early in the morning, when I find something amusing that I know is up each of my daughter's respective alleys, but that's hardly the attention that 30 to 35-year-old girls need from their father. And it would appear that I've let my daughters down in this aspect. A very painful thing for me to recognize. It just so happens that both Mrs. Zoe and myself go to the same dentist. And, wouldn't you know it, my eldest daughter is the dental assistant. So Paula went in twice now in the last 2 weeks for a teeth cleaning and something else. And she got a few minutes alone with my daughter, and my daughter let her know that she wasn't particularly happy with me. And it wasn't that she was pissed off at me. It was more that she was disappointed in me that I couldn't find the time to give her a call. Even she knows I only have one day off, basically. I couldn't find the time to call her on that day. And I realized one of my major shortcomings here. Because truthfully, I mean, there's my walk with the Lord, and then it's my family. The most important thing in a man's life is his family and his relationships with his family. And it's painful for me to say that I faltered. I stumbled and I fell flat on my face and I've let them down. I learned last night that my stepson had open heart surgery yesterday. And I wouldn't have known unless Mrs. Zoso didn't have the appointment. If she hadn't had the appointment, I never would have found out about my stepson's surgery. Now, he and I aren't very close. Although I tried very hard when his mother and I were married, I tried my very best to be a good father to him. I tried to instill in him the values that my father instilled in me, trying to be a upstanding man, a man of integrity, a God-fearing man. I tried to show him the things that my father shared with me, which was things like scouting, Boy Scouts. I loved scouting when I was a kid. Was very involved in it. I loved Little League. I tried to get him involved in Little League. And he did play one season of Little League. But very quickly, it was easy to tell that sports were just never going to be his thing. And when I suggested scouting, he didn't want any part of that. So it was only a few years later that I realized how different we were, and that no matter how hard I tried, I wasn't going to be able to instill the values in him that my father instilled in me. We're just two very, very, very different people. But it doesn't mean that I don't care about the kid. Of course, my two daughters, this is their brother. So they don't refer to him as their half-brother. They refer to him as their brother, which is completely understandable. And the fact that, I wasn't there to tell them, hey, please, tell Nick I'm praying for him, or I didn't even know what was going on. Why? Because I was so preoccupied in myself. And that is a hard thing to admit to yourself, that you're so busy with work, you're so busy, trying to put a little broadcast together, that those have become the priorities in your life, and your family has slipped down to the point where you don't call them for 2 months. That's a very difficult thing for me to admit to myself. Man, for the last 24 hours, I've been a little blue, to be honest with you. I've been really. It's been difficult. It's been difficult. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to give myself excuses. I'm not trying to say that there's reasons why I wouldn't have known, or, I just feel lousy about the whole thing. And I'm trying to understand why. Why have I become so immersed in my daily struggles that I've put blinders on to the point where I forget to call my kids and see how the hell they're doing, when the fact is that they mean more to me than anything in the world. This has really been a painful 24 to 48 hours for me. And the main reason is, if I have any faults in this world, I'll tell you what it is. I hate to let people down. I do. I mean, particularly like if I'm riding cross country and I reach out to 4 or 5 people in the upcoming states and I say, hey, if the weather works and this happens and that happens and I make good time and I don't get caught in traffic, I should be able to come by and see you on such and such a day. And then for whatever reason, something happens, weather happens, rain, lightning storms, and I end up having to veer 400 miles out of the way to the south. I have let some friends down. And that bothers me. All the I'm sorry's, it was the weather, all that shit doesn't fix the situation. You got somebody all excited. You said you were going to see him. You said you were going to see him for the last 2 years, and then the time shows up, and you have to divert and get out of the way. So, and that's just just a single example. From the time I was 10 years old, the last thing I ever wanted to do was offend anybody. I've just felt, so there was something, the way I am wired is that if I let somebody down, a schoolmate, a best friend, somebody that I promised that I would help them move because I'm a guy with a pickup truck, and the day comes and goes and I didn't write it on my calendar, and then I get a nasty note or a nasty phone message. Thanks a lot for nothing, you jackass. I was planning on your help and you let me down. I mean, things like that really, really bother me. I do take them personally. Letting people down is not something that I enjoy doing. And letting down my own daughters, boy, that's pretty low. So I've been trying to boost my spirits and think of things that but I can't seem to come up with anything. I just can't seem to come up with anything that makes me feel better about myself. Am I wrong here? Fuck, it is difficult at best. Difficult at best to admit to yourself, dude, you screwed up. You really freaking screwed up. At least for me it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a little video because I have to run outside and take a gaping Sarge. Only you Joey Mormon fans are going to remember what that means. I'm going to come back and I'm going to open up the phone because I would like to hear your opinions on this. Am I beating myself up too much, or am I really just a freaking louse? I need you to tell me. I need you to steer me straight. When I come back, I'll put the number on the screen. I hope you'll call in and tell your brother Zoe what if,
Why
what
do
for.
we sail upon the mystery ship? Because we never know where we'll go next.
I want to show you a picture in particular. Let me show you one picture in particular. Is it here? Right there? Right there it is. There it is. Right there. Those are my two daughters. This is Ashley, my oldest, and that is Victoria, my youngest. This is Victoria gave me this flag for Christmas year before last, and I love it. And I'm in the process of getting a flagpole big enough to fly this thing on my property. It's going to have to be a 40-footer, but I'm working on it, and it looks like the stars are going to line up for that little project. It looks like the stars will line up for that. But how do I line up the stars and repair my broken relationship with my daughters? Last night when I got home from work, which was very late, Mrs. Zoe and I were talking at the dinner table. And that's when she said to me, "I saw your daughter today." And that's my daughter told Paula about my stepson's open heart surgery. They replaced 2 valves in his heart. Very serious situation. He's
he's always had an enlarged heart. So he's had issues pretty much his whole life, this kid. He's only 40 years old. And they actually expected him to, after the operation, to go home and to be on hospice at 40 years old. That is rough. To make things a bit more tough for this poor kid. He's been on dialysis now for 3 years. He's got bad kidneys, and there's nothing they can do about it. But because of his heart problems, they said, no, we're not going to put you on the list for a kidney because, these things are hard to come by. And if we were to find a kidney that would work for you, you might just turn around and die anyway. So, both my daughters, who love their brother, are taking this it's a very heavy subject. Miraculously, he has pulled out of this, and it looks like he's stable. He is stable, and I mean he's still in the CCU of the heart wing there at the hospital. But it does look like, at least at this point, it does look like he has the opportunity to make a full recovery. And the good news is that now that his heart is working, now he could potentially get on the list for a kidney transplant, which would allow him to get off of dialysis. So, there's a lot to pray for there. But this obviously weighs very heavy on my daughter's hearts. And the fact that they haven't had their father to lean on, because I'm so absorbed in myself and my work, makes me feel like more of a louse. I know that Jesus forgives me for all of my shortcomings. I've always had a hard time forgiving myself for my shortcomings. I don't know why, but it's been something I've struggled with my whole life. I know I'm not a bad guy. I mean, well, at least I'd like to think I'm not a bad guy. You guys know me about as well as anybody. Am I being too hard on myself? Do I need to cut myself some slack? I don't know. I'm hoping you'll tell me. Have you been in a similar situation? That's what I would really appreciate. If someone has been in a similar situation, say estranged from perhaps their loved ones for whatever reason, and then found a way to rectify the situation, by God, I'm all ears. Share with me. What have you got? Because I'm struggling at the moment. I'm kind of pissed off at myself for being not a recluse, but just not being more with it, not being more on top of it. For a guy who claims to care so much for his fellow man, how do you let your own freaking daughters down? I don't know. I'm struggling with this one. I'm struggling with this scenario. I feel, on one hand, that, you know, I'm up against some unbelievable odds on my job. I've got someone calling in right now to lighten my load a little bit, and I'm awfully glad to have you on the phone. Who do I have on the line?
Hey, Zoso, it's Q Magoo.
How you doing, kiddo?
I'm good. I just walked in, and you were kind of beating yourself up, and I didn't hear anything more than maybe you were letting your daughters down.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough thing, Q. For the past 2 months, I've been so just wrapped up in my work and my job and trying to get the occasional broadcast off that I haven't. I've slipped in my communications with both of my daughters, who are, 30 and 35. So, they're at that age where they need their father. They need his advice. They need his comfort. Both of them are struggling right now because their brother, my stepson, my ex stepson, if you want to say that, just made it through heart surgery, and this was particularly devastating for them. And if ever there was a time where they could have appreciated a little bit of their father's wisdom, or let's say comforting, I was nowhere to be found. So I don't know. I don't know. Mine's only 19. But boy, what do I want to say? I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You are. You try and make everybody's lives better. And whether it be your family or your friends, I think, I'm not saying that they should, I don't know. Like, I guess a lot of personal questions go in there. Like, right.
Did you not text them back or something? But,
yeah.
Yeah, you make your time, you do your best for everybody, I guess is what I would say. You do your best for everybody, and you make the time for especially the people that are closest to you. And, yeah, that would have been traumatic, I'm sure, heart problems and such. But I don't think that I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm a little selfish too because, I know that my family's there and I know they're okay. And,
yeah,
I make time for them when they need me.
the relieving part.
Maybe it's a female thing, though, too. And I'm not that female that I need I don't want to say too much.
It's okay.
But
I know you, kiddo. I know who you are. If there's any positive edge to this, even though it was short and sweet, I did actually today finally have a 10-minute phone call with my daughter, who filled me in on, everything that was going on with him. But at that same time, she filled me in on other issues going on in her life, which were also particularly stressful for her. And, it just made me...
Maybe it's that time in your life, though, so that you need to slow down a little and you don't even realize it. Because that's the... Remember my big bam, ma'am? Like, everyone in August, they're like, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. And then all of a sudden, Indiana, pushed me into slowing down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you just need to slow down, and maybe you just need to... And it's the holidays, so you'll be able to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. One of the things I'm relishing in, if there is any good thing about this, is that next week is a very short work week, and with any luck, I'll be able to see my daughters over the Thanksgiving holidays. 4 days off should give me plenty of time to spend some time with them. So I think I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope that works out time-wise. And Mrs. Zoe is going to reach out to them and invite them for Thanksgiving dinner, which, given everything that's going on right now in their world, I don't know how they could say no. So it'll
Yeah,
probably
it's gonna
work
be
out.
okay. They're just looking for some dad time.
I think that's what it is. I think it's what it
Okay,
is, and
well,
it just, hey, I appreciate the call, kiddo.
I fell in at the right time. I've been
Yes, you did.
trying to make room for all three of us in this tiny place, and yeah. So I just wanted to cheer you up. I hope I did.
Yes, you did. Thanks a lot, kiddo.
Okay, good.
Love you, kiddo.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
I love you too. Bye.
That's our friend Q Magoo right there. A very wonderful, wonderful friend from Northwest Indiana. This looks like my friend, the Girl Patriot.
Hello, Zoe.
How are you doing, kiddo?
I'm doing fine. And listen, I know the demands of being a boss can be demanding and overwhelming.
It can be a bit challenging at times, yes.
Very challenging. And you're working long hours and have got a lot of responsibility. In a way, their anger is a gift because you still have them, all
Yes.
three of them in your life.
Yes.
My husband lost his oldest son,
Oh, man.
and we didn't have a chance, to make amends. So,
Wow.
with that, I just want to say, my sister fell out with my mom and dad, and my father wrote her a letter that she still has to this day. And I think it would be wonderful if you wrote each of them a letter, either call them and read it to them, or however you decide to do it. Tell them you never want them to forget how much you love them and exactly why you love them and what they mean to you in your life. That will be a treasure that they will have long after you're gone. So
That is an excellent idea.
you just look at this as a blessing, even though it hurts. You don't want to hurt your children. You don't want
No.
to always be there for them.
That's,
I mean, my God, you took care of them when they were just helpless
yes.
as babies, and it's hard to see them suffer. But kind of look at the bright side that you can fix this.
I do have the time to fix this, and that is that is one thing that I I've learned this lesson before, Girl Patriot. You'd think that I'd know it by now, but every now and then I have to fall back and relearn this lesson, and it seems to get a little more painful each and every time. But you are right. It's not irreparable. It certainly can be fixed.
You're a hard charger. And they should be very proud of you.
Well, I know that they know that I care. They know that I care. My problem is I don't show that I care. So that's where I need to kind of step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Well,
I had my father. I'll let you go here, but my father was raised by his grandparents, very staunch Mormons that didn't give him a lot of attention or love other than feed him, clothe him, and that kind of thing.
right.
And so he never could say to his kids that he loved them. Never say those words.
Wow.
And my aunt told me that that often bothered him. He said, the words just don't come out. I feel it, but I can't say it. And so he finally did tell my son on his deathbed that he loved him. Wrote it down. So I got that in my china cabinet. But anyway, just you can do it. You're such a good person, and anyway.
I appreciate the encouragement, my friend. I really do. It means a lot. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, take a little break and get some rest, friend.
Yeah, I'm in. Girl Patriot, freaking love you. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
Have a good night, kiddo. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I'm feeling a little bit more positive already. We've got another call coming in. another one coming in.
Stop.
Good evening and welcome aboard the mystery ship. Who do I have on the line?
You have your kid's sister.
I do.
You do indeed. Remember me? Tall girl, lives in Southern California.
Another one I've probably been...
Oh, no. Don't you dare jump on that train for
All right.
yourself.
Well, I certainly am happy to have your call right now, sis.
Well, listen to me, my love. We are a family that runs very deep and very tight. We are not unlike, that sort of woven fishing net that you throw in the water 1,000 times and it wears down, but somehow it still stays together and it catches what it needs to, and we feed each other when we can. And we're not always on the same boat all the time, but my metaphor is to say that when we know we've got a hole in that net, we can stitch it up, and one person can say, hey, man, there's a hole, let's fix that, and let everybody else come on. And what I'm saying is that we show up for each other when we can. And these are the kind of things that take place in life that make us have to check our own shit.
Mm.
And we've all had to do it, Al. We've all had to do it. And yes, your girls not only know that you love them, because I happen to be privy to that, but at the same time, it's been sort of a delicate unraveling over the years of, transitioning through different parts of your life and having different relationships. And you care very, very much about their joy and their happiness. But as you and I both know, sometimes, even our old man didn't quite know how to be present for us. He would just sort of want to give us the guidelines to life instead of letting us know. And I don't think your girls don't know, so I don't think you ever have to doubt that.
Mm.
But maybe at this point, as we're going to the third quarter of the turnstile, now that we're all in our 60s, I think what we might need to do is just be more present when we are with them.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking that as if they've said anything to me, because they have not. And I don't mean to open this on the air, but I'm just saying you're being beautifully vulnerable. I'm happy to support you. But Al, nobody, your listeners know this, but nobody loves the way you love. I don't know anyone who loves as big and as genuinely as you do. And, the whole go big or go home thing is genius. You just bring all of it with you, and you bring everyone around, and you pull up that net, and you bring all of us with you. And sometimes you get tired, and you got to go pay some bills, and, we fall out of touch with people. So all you can do is say to your girls, listen, every day I will do my best to hear you and see you. I love you, and you have the rest of your life. And there's going to be a long time with that, because I'm not letting you fucking go anywhere. There's going to be the rest of your life to be able to repair this.
Yeah.
These things aren't one and done, yeah?
It's true.
You're a good, big heart of love, and I adore you. And, of course, we all want to smack each other on the head sometimes. But don't let this. It's okay.
I needed these words right now, sis. Thank you kindly. Thank you
welcome,
kindly.
my darling. Yes. Now, when you get a chance, just play some Allman Brothers Revival. You'll feel better. We're all right. We can all groove on the peace and the love, but listen to your listeners. But also, Al, don't beat yourself up too much. You can't go from one end to the other. The polarizing is what gets us. We feel like we're going to go all in. So just dive in, baby. Just be present for them and listen to them and let them know you love them, and Nick too, okay?
Thank you kindly. I very much appreciate your input, sis. Always. Always.
Oh, honey, I love you. And I'm thankful. People, I am thankful for this man. I'm thankful for you and the big heart you have and the Harley rides you gave my son, which I won't even talk about, but that was fabulous.
I will hopefully see you sometime very soon, sis.
You will, babe. I love you. Go have a
love
good
you
show.
lots. Thanks.
Okay, honey. Bye.
Talk to you soon. I got very lucky when God gave me that woman as my sister. There's no question in my mind that yeah, my life would be very different without her. She's like the gift to our family. The last one to come along and the best one to come along. She's helped my brother and me immensely over the years. It's always handy to have a doctor in the family, particularly a psychologist. God bless her. God bless her. I think I'm going to call it quits here, people. I think you guys have kind of helped me out of my funk. And speaking of funk, I'm going to be funking it up tomorrow. Wait, we got a call coming in right now. Oh, it's like I somehow missed it. But that's all right. I really should call it a night. I've had one hell of a week. I do have tomorrow to look forward to, though. One thing that takes me out of a dilemma is my Saturday show. It just helps me relive a little piece of my youth and pump up my batteries in a way that my Saturday show it heals me. It's healing for me. I'm going to have to play Revival tomorrow. Forgot all about that. You know what? I should, I'm going to tell the wonderful people at YouTube good night, and I love you, but I'm going to play a song to close out this show, and if I play it on YouTube, I'll get spanked, and I can't afford to get spanked anymore on YouTube. So I'm going to say goodnight to my YouTubers right here. If you're curious as to what that song might be, then just go over to Rumble or DLive or X and look up Zoso Dude 77, and you'll be able to find out just what song it was that I played, because I'm feeling it right now. I am definitely feeling it. I want to find, there's a very particular video I am looking for right now. Where is it? Where the hell is it? You know. I suppose I can make this work. I suppose I can make this one work. Okay. I'm going to stop this right here. I'm going to kill the volume to that. I'm going to kill the volume to that. And I am going to... There we go. I'm going to go over here and choose a song. Okay, good night, my YouTubers. Like I said, come over to Rumble, come over to DLive, come over to X, where you can hear the last part of the show. But I've got to shut down YouTube. So, love you, YouTubers. Come join me tomorrow on my classic rock show, either at DLive or, of course, Pilled Foxhole. Okay, it's a great place. It is a great place.